Awesome. Alrighty. So welcome everyone to our interview series. And I have with me today a very special gentleman, Ilya Bukshteyn. I hope I haven't butchered the name, Ilya. you,
Right.
Ilya is the head of product based out of Washington. Is that right, Ilya?
That's right.
Yeah,
Seattle area where our headquarters is.
absolutely. And you are responsible for all the Microsoft Teams devices worldwide.
That's
So
right.
thank you for your time, Ilya, today. And what time is it over there?
It's just a little past 1:30, 1:39 p.m. to be specific, on a typical spring, looking up my window, spring day, which means it's a little overcast, but
That's
what
Seattle.
we what we here call great weather. It's fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. So today, I guess thank you for your time. I wanted to go through a number of things, especially given the current environment. Devices are becoming more and more important with a lot of people working from home. So the first thing I wanted to talk about specifically is Microsoft Teams rooms. That a lot of people who use Teams know about it, but I'm also surprisingly finding out that a lot of people don't know what that actually means, even though they may well be using it. So could you maybe start out by giving us an idea of what Microsoft Teams Rooms is and how is it different compared to what might be out there?
Sure. So for Microsoft Teams, my team focuses on making sure there are purpose-built devices that enhance the experience that users have. So make it easier and faster to get into Teams meetings, make it easier and faster to take actions once you're in a meeting, such as see who the participants are, share content. And we believe that in a lot of spaces, purpose-built devices really can be very helpful in enhancing that experience. So whether you're at home and you have a video phone type device or an all-in-one device, you're on the go and you have great wireless earbuds or a headset, you're at work and you might have a speaker puck, a video phone, a PC, a headset, all the above. And then of course, all the shared spaces at work, all the huddle spaces, team spaces, once we all go back to the office to some degree,
Yes.
we think it's actually going to be more important than ever to make every space capable of having a great meeting where remote participants feel like they are right there. So Microsoft Teams Rooms is our premier offering for hardware that runs Teams. It's a Teams application that my team builds and enhances, that delivers a purpose-built experience for meetings in shared spaces. Makes it super easy to have a very high quality video, audio sharing meeting very quickly in any kind of space, from the phone room to the boardroom.
So given the trends that are happening in different industries, especially now with working from home, what are you seeing as the trends, especially around the devices?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. One is clearly remote work is going to become a way of life
Yes.
for the foreseeable future. Now, that doesn't mean we think everyone will always be remote.
Yeah.
That's the situation in many places today. But we think moving forward, the sort of new normal of work is going to be a hybrid environment where some people may need to be remote or want to or choose to be remote some of the time.
Yeah.
And some people will need or choose or want to be in the office some of the time. And the key overall for Microsoft Teams is just to connect everyone so that you're working very naturally. And for Teams devices, it's even more so to make sure that people, whether they're at home or in the office, feel like they're part of the collaboration. So right now, very urgently, the trend is everyone needs to enhance the setup that they have for remote work.
Yeah.
So our partners are pretty much sold out of every kind of camera and headset that they can sell, and
Yeah.
they're making them as quickly as they can. And so the kind of immediate thing that I'm hearing is let's go ahead and do whatever it takes to make the experience better for everyone at home, video and audio.
Mm.
As we move beyond that, we're already starting to see kind of home office become not just a premier scenario, but also kind of a premier benefit for employees. So certainly the economy is going to go through a tough time, but I don't think the fundamental trend of talent being a fought over value changes. In other words, companies are always looking to see how can we enhance our employee experience, and by the way, our experience with customers. And so we think home office setup is going to become kind of like the free cafeteria food of the next few years, which is that companies will compete on saying, how much flexibility do we give you as an employee? How good of an experience do we make that for you as an employee? So I think you'll see that home office setup move from, here's a webcam and a headset, you go ahead and plug it in, and maybe just like you did, struggle somewhat with, do I have the right thing? To, you know what, here's an all-in-one thing. All you have to do is plug it into power, and it's ready to go. And so, you still have your laptop that you can do things, and actually they'll work better together. You can, if you join a meeting, it'll offer to share your screen from the laptop, but you have a thing, whether it's a smaller screen like a video phone or a larger screen like an all-in-one, you have a thing that is dedicated for your work meetings, one-touch join, proximity-based join, awesome audio, filters out the noise that you may have around you with barking dogs and young kids like I have. It just sort of makes that home office setup trouble-free, friction-free, easy and simple. So I think there'll be that portfolio of home office type of devices all the way up to large screens. So certainly executives we're seeing now ask questions like, how can I get the equivalent of an MTR, but at home? I want to have large screen, some cases multi-screen. I have the space for it. I want to be able to have my board meetings, at home, and have that more immersive experience. At the same time, I think there's certainly, I have been asked the question of, hey, will the trend continue on rooms and offices becoming video enabled? Or boy, is that going to be held back because people aren't in the office much? So I would say we're seeing two things. One is there's some uncertainty in the near term. How much money are companies willing to spend? But the long-term trend seems to have even accelerated to say, boy, this remote work may come back to us at any time. And to do that, we actually need to video enable every space. We need to be able to have people at work connected to people remote across the globe from anywhere. So we're seeing customers with actually a very large pent-up demand for things like MTR, our new collaboration bars for Teams, for basically collaboration and video enabling every space. In fact, some of the IT folks are saying, boy, if I could get back to the office before the users do, now's a great time to deploy a whole bunch of these. So we think that long-term trend of video enabling every space is going to continue. Overall, the macro trend is just video. I think many of us have been saying the time has come for that for a long time. Certainly, in my 26-year Microsoft career, I've never seen anything like this. Maybe with the exception of the Windows 95 launch, but it's just incredible to see straight up adoption of Teams meetings and video meetings.
Oh, it's amazing.
Sorry, that's a very long answer to your question.
No, that's okay. I mean, pretty much, if I were to summarize, I'm just thinking the expectations of video and audio experience to be almost seamless and easy, so they don't have multiple devices to plug in and struggle with, especially if you've got executives working from home. You don't want them having to play around, especially right now. You can't easily send a tech person to his or her house, right? So it's going to be how do you easily get that working and give them that noise canceling. I know that's coming in Teams where you have to cut out the dog barking and the kids screaming in the background, sort of things, so the cancellation from a Teams perspective. But I think that the video, I also think executives' home offices are going to look very, very similar to your work home offices with the big screens and multiple screens and all of that. Absolutely. I think you're right. In the shorter term, we may not have the massive projects of setting up the offices while everybody's uncertain, but certainly the home offices are getting fitted out quite extensively.
I would agree with that for sure. And again, I think as there was an interesting trend at work where the open office if you will, was really becoming less personal space and more shared spaces.
Yes.
So there were more huddle rooms, teams rooms, etc. Now, social distancing will have some limitations on shared spaces in the meantime.
I know.
But
Yeah.
I think that trend actually accelerates, because if you say, hey, totally picking a number, maybe half your workforce is going to be remote.
Yeah.
And they'll have awesome home offices. Well, you actually need less personal space then, or maybe a little bit more with social distancing. But you need lots of spaces where someone can duck in and have a video meeting very quickly with 4 other people who might even be on the same floor, or different floors, different building, or across the globe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I do think about open offices and what's going to happen there, but that's not a conversation for today, because I think everybody's got an opinion on that one.
Yes.
Now, do you have any favorite tools and technologies? Because there's so many vendors. I think there's about 6 OEM vendors. Is that right, Ilya?
For Microsoft Teams.
Yes.
For Microsoft Teams rooms, there's 6. And actually, let me share one tool that I think everyone could use, which is our Microsoft Teams devices showcase. So I'll start up some screen sharing here very quickly.
Not a problem.
And hopefully you should see it now, in fact.
Yes, I can see that now.
Good. So this is the one place where I would suggest anyone go if they're thinking about, boy, what do I need, or what's a good device? This is the long URL up here. The short one is just aka.ms whack Teams devices. Or / Teams devices. And so here you can see all the different categories. And for example, we were talking about room systems. I can go in, I can sort and say, let's see, I want a specific brand, or more likely, let's see what I have for home office, since we were talking about that. And here's a Polycom Studio X30 that we're in the process of certifying, should be certified next week. And for some of these, not all, but we're working on it, you'll actually see guidance for how to set it up. So let me go back and show you one of those. I'll do, let's say, a Yealink system. Or a Logitech system. So let's see here. Let me go back, click Yealink. So if I click one of these slightly more complicated systems, clearly
it's a full room system, that one.
Cameras, exactly. Let me click into rooms. Here we go, MVC 800. So this is a little more complicated. So here you can actually see, we talk about where to position the microphones, the range of the speaker, camera, even cable management. So we're going to add a lot more knowledge into to here. You can see exactly how systems are cabled, how we recommend setting them up. So this is the one-stop shop that I would suggest people look at. Now, going back to favorite tools, I think everybody needs to have at least one awesome headset at every location.
Oh, absolutely.
And for home, I think you need one that is really good at not just active noise cancellation for you, so you don't hear the dog bark, but actually noise cancellation for the remote side. So we call that it was based for work, we call that our open office certified spec, so that it actually has multiple mics, reduces the noise that you hear from elsewhere. So I'd suggest everybody has one of those headsets.
That'll be really good, Ilya, because almost every other meeting, my dog decides to bark.
Yeah, I've got two, so I'm very familiar with that. So right now, I happen to be using the Evolve 75 from Jabra. Right on, and I rotate, as you can imagine, through all of them. So next to me, I've got a Voyager Focus UC. I've also got a Logitech Zone Wireless here next to me as well. So I go through a lot of these. I think the more hours you're on, the you may want to have multiple devices so you switch around. I also think in your home office, everyone should have one of these speaker phones or speaker pucks. The reason being that if you can lock the door, keep the dogs out, This is
Yeah.
pretty comfortable. It's a lot more comfortable than wearing headsets for 8-9 hours a day. So, and it's good. I try to alternate in meetings between using one of these. I happen to have all of them again at home, so I've got the
Of
Yealink, the
course.
Sennheiser, and the Jabra.
Yeah.
And then I think for many people, having a video phone is
Yeah.
going to be a very useful option where, you know, it lets you have your laptop free to do other things. We've got a great video phone from Yealink, the VP59. Also very excited about this Lenovo device coming soon.
I
So you
was
can
just
see
looking at that. I haven't seen that. That looks pretty amazing, actually.
it should be on sale like literally next week. It's very attractively priced for a video phone. You know, video phones, when they were first announced, I think they were like $40,000 in the 60s.
Goodness.
Video
Yeah.
phones are traditionally many hundreds of dollars. This is a $350 device.
So you're talking American, and availability is that in
Yes,
the US? So we have to think Australia when it's going to
that's
become.
a great question. I apologize. I don't know off the
That's all
top of
right.
my head. I
Yeah.
believe Lenovo's plan is to make it available, worldwide
Yeah.
right away. But they have two versions. One, as I said, $350. That's really a speaker phone, as you see. It's got great dual mic speakers, great screen. And then also they have one
Doesn't
that's
look like a phone at all.
I know. I think that's kind of the point. It's a very new form factor.
Yeah.
You can see it here. So it's got a camera here with a built-in
Yeah.
shutter. That's a little red light. Great, powerful speaker, dual mics, really nice, high-quality screen.
Very
Um,
nice.
you can see the profile is very slim. It also can be rotated to be portrait. So in a one-on-one meeting like we're doing now, portrait
Yeah.
actually would be very useful.
Yeah.
And very attractively priced. Like I said, $350 or $450 with a headset. So this kind of, to me, is a new generation of what a video phone means. It's this dedicated device that just is one-touch calling meetings. I have one right here, so you can't quite see it,
Yeah.
but I have one off to the side. I use it to also keep an eye on my calendar and sort of use it
Very
as an
nice.
additional Teams device. So I think having one of these
Yeah.
will be very useful,
Yeah.
both at home and, like I said, on your desk at work.
Yeah.
And then up from there, something like the Poly Studio X30, which is, we call it a collaboration bar for Teams,
Yeah.
that combined with 27-inch touchscreen makes a fantastic collaboration device. Again, something you could have sort of on one wall of your home office.
Yeah.
It's with a touch display. You can use it for whiteboarding in Teams meetings. Super useful tool.
Yeah. I do love the studio. So this one is particularly for the home office, but it could be used anywhere, right, Ilya?
It can be used anywhere. So the
Yeah.
studio line supports other services. There's a specific version that runs Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
So it's a team experience for those devices.
Yeah. Love it. I
And
do love it.
there's actually two out right now in that
Yeah.
category. One is the Yealink VC210 right there. Boy, that
Yes.
popped up at the perfect time.
Yes.
And the other one that's coming is the Poly Studio X30. And then you'll see more and more.
Yeah. Fantastic. And again, I think those two are pretty affordable too. Not too bad at all.
You're going to see some, I think you're going to see them become more and more affordable. I think you're going to see folks like Yealink and Poly seize the opportunity, especially around the home office, and you'll see some very attractive pricing soon.
Absolutely. I don't know if this is an easy question, but in terms of if you were to order, probably shouldn't ask this question, but in terms of ordering of pricing, which ones would you consider the premium devices and ones that are sort of mid-range to affordable for, say, some of the SME businesses?
Sure. So certainly your peripherals are always going to be the most affordable. So getting a good headset or one of those speaker pucks, even in the speaker pucks, you'll see there's a range. So I think everywhere from, I think this Poly will be pretty affordable. They're older Callisto, but this new Callisto will be pretty affordable. To $100 to $200 is a pretty good range. Here's a Yealink low end one. Same thing you're going to see in cameras. they'll go from sort of $100 price point to $250.
Yeah.
Then above that, you'll see video phones. So like the Lenovo that I showed you starting at $350. Above that will be collaboration bars, like the Yealink VC210, the Studio X. They'll start at about, hopefully, if they get really aggressive, at under $1,000 US and go up to about 1,500. And then you'll get MTR. So MTR systems start at about 1,600 for the Lenovo Hub 500 or the HP Slice, and they go up from there. And really, you know, they can go up to 5,000, 6,000 if you're getting multiple cameras, multiple touchpads, consoles, etc.
How simple or difficult are these to install at home? I'm just thinking the current situation. Obviously, this is current and things will change, hopefully, for all of us. We'll get back to the offices at some point soon. But how easy are these to install in the home office?
So in order of simplicity, the easiest would be either the peripherals or something like that Lenovo video phone. For some people, getting a webcam or a headset and plugging in the receiver into your laptop is super simple. Now, for some people, it's not just people. It's for some scenarios, like things could go wrong there. So the Lenovo is maybe one step above that. All you do is plug it into power, connect it to your Wi-Fi, and sign in with your Teams account.
Nice.
Very, very simple. The collaboration bars are about the same as that Lenovo. So you plug them into a TV. If it's a touch screen, you plug in USB as well. You plug them into power, and if you have PoE, it could be one plug for power and network. And you're done. You sign in with your Teams account, and you're done.
Nice.
MTR would be the more sort of IT-driven install, because you do have to have a resource account set up that you need for MTR, and those devices are meant to be IT managed, updated, and so forth. So MTR is something that's more of an IT install.
Yeah, makes sense actually. Now, I guess now that we've done the techie bits, I was going to ask you around how, especially an organization like Microsoft, I'm sure plenty of people would be keen to hear, how are you keeping staff engaged and motivated through this time? I mean, I know tools and technologies is one aspect of it, but could you just share, Ilya, because I know you've got a relatively big team yourself.
Well, so I don't think anyone has the perfect answer. I'll just start by saying that. I think we're all learning and figuring this out. It's a unique situation. I mean, I hope that it's truly a once-in-a-lifetime situation.
I hope so too, Ilya.
That said, things that we have heard. One, frequent and transparent communication. So we are getting updates right from our senior leadership team on a weekly basis. Actually, we were for a while doing it daily. Now we're doing more on a weekly basis. We're being very transparent about what data is our SLT monitoring. You know, what are the data sources we look at? What are good? In our last update from our leader, our COO, effectively Kurt Dilbenny, he pointed to a recent Gates Notes article from Bill that he thought did a really good job of going through kind of how do we move forward and what's ahead. So lots of transparent communications, and that's all the way down from the top to teams. So I will say, in Teams, I have a group chat for my whole team, and it has always tended to be somewhat active, but now it's extremely active. And I think we all make a point of being active on that daily, multiple times daily, with a combination of sort of work and fun. So a couple of us have gotten new puppies, and we've posted puppy pictures. We talk about what we're doing at home to kind of as projects and to occupy ourselves, and also work in industry topics. So we are really trying to use Teams, group chat, the channels. We have a fun channel where we post memes, and actually a really popular one has been custom backgrounds. So I'm using one of our
that's one of my favorites, by the way.
Oh, really?
I actually always use that one for meetings. I don't know. I feel like I'm in this loft in New York or something like that.
Well, so we have a lot more fun ones. There was actually a site now that's teamsbackgrounds.net. That's like 200 backgrounds, but there's a lot of really
fantastic to know. Not many people. Can you repeat that URL again, Ilya?
Let me type it in to make sure I say it right. I think it's Teams Backgrounds. .net. That's right.
Teamsbackgrounds.net.
Background singular .net. And there's
Background.
200 odd backgrounds. So like I saw a picture on the web of, you would know this, Australian, the Western Australian quokka that's always smiling.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that.
So,
So cute. There you go. Oh,
the Western
fantastic.
Australian quokka. I love it. And it looks like it's about to eat me though, but it's still fun.
It's actually pretty little and cute, Ilya.
I know. It's like this big, right? They're adorable. I saw that picture and I was like, I have to have it. So I think we have a lot of fun with the backgrounds.
Yes. I'm so happy to get that URL. We do Teams every day and we actually train people, but I didn't know that URL, so it's fantastic. Because I'm getting tired of all of the backgrounds right now, and I've got people with our logo in the background. I've got staff playing around. It's fantastic, actually.
So on that website, they say, oh, hey, put this into a folder on your Windows PC. I want to do the disclaimer. We don't recommend that, but coming soon, as you could tell by my quokka behind me,
yes.
In Teams, you'll be able to upload and choose your own custom images
very
soon. Very soon. So that's going to be coming very, very quickly.
You're going to have all the dogs and the kids and everybody else up on the background soon, Ilya.
So other things we've been doing, we do virtual happy hours and virtual lunches. So we do now lunches for new people joining the team, but they're virtual. So we all like literally watch each other eat, chat. Yeah. Every Friday we're doing a virtual happy hour. People have, their cocktails and we talk about whatever comes up. Last one we ended up talking about, I don't know if it's true in Australia, but here in the US, here I'll switch my background again. We had a toilet paper shortage.
We did.
And somehow it got onto, Japanese style toilets, the Toto, and how those are fantastic. And it's one way they need less TP. So all kinds of topics come up. Yeah. So we, we're just trying to communicate. And then for work, there's some specific things that we're finding that we're implementing that also we're going to actually enhance in the product. Mm-hmm. So one thing, we are very used to having meetings that go either 30 minutes or an hour, and they start or end, on that boundary. And it turns out when you do that all day as video meetings, you are just fried. Yeah. So we are purposefully trying to say, okay, meetings are now going to be 45 minutes or 20 minutes. So there's a break. We are really trying not to schedule things at noon so that people can actually get up, go have lunch, walk around. Yeah. The other thing that we found is you get not just meeting fatigue, but meeting, you kind of forget that you have another meeting. And so we're looking at things like, can we give you kind of a countdown timer or other indication in Teams to say, hey, not only is this meeting ending or maybe going over, but you actually have another meeting. That could be in 10 minutes, so you should take a break. Yeah. So I think we're both trying to institute some norms around that, as well as trying to think about what can we do in the product. Another thing, by the way, is just video. Seeing people is so much better than only hearing people in terms of visual cues. Yeah. So I'm using an internal preview of the product where I already can see 9 video streams instead of 4.
We're really looking forward to that one.
Yep, coming very soon. Yeah. But just sort of nudging people gently to turn on video. At the same time, there has to be a cultural norm that says, you know what, it's okay not to turn on video. That's something new that we figured out of like, look, if you do an 8 a.m. or an 8:30 or even a 9 a.m. meeting, people might still be in their PJs, and that's okay. They don't have to be on camera. So that's been another, good cultural norm.
Absolutely. Well, I'm just running out of questions now. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of Teams or Teams devices? I mean, I was thinking of success stories, but I think it might take a little bit long and any use cases. But
I think I would just say one, shortages aside, really would encourage people to get devices so that the experience is better for the remote side, not just them. In other words, even if one person is like on a phone and walking around and everything's Gosling. I don't know if you guys get Saturday Night Live there, but that was a
We
skit
did.
they even did.
We did a while ago. Yes.
Yeah,
Everybody
so
knows Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
that it kind of makes the whole meeting exhausting for everyone. So
Yes.
having a really good headset, really good camera, not using the built-in laptop camera and speakers mics, which tend to be not very good, or using a speaker puck so that you don't get exhausted. I think I would just encourage everyone to make the meeting experience better for everyone.
Yep.
That's one thing. I think starting to get dedicated devices like that Lenovo, like video phones, will
Yeah.
help you in terms of freeing up your laptop.
Yes.
And then I would just really encourage everyone to use video when they're comfortable doing so, because it
Yeah.
does in the meetings so much.
Oh, it does. I think you almost get the feeling of being with the other person. And I think I read somewhere, I posted on LinkedIn not that long ago about the mental health aspects around that as well. The connectivity, the connection when you see another human being and you look eye to eye, there is a connection and it actually helps the other person.
Yeah. The last thing I would just say is
Yeah.
these are stressful times. We should have fun. So I have fun with my backgrounds. I've done meetings with my dog sitting on my lap.
Is that your dog, Ilya?
It's not. That's a background someone else did. My doggy's locked out right now because I locked the room.
Yeah.
But you know, have fun. It's stressful times. We
Yes.
it's a unique situation. It's probably going to be unique for quite a while in terms
Yeah.
of the new norm of working.
Yeah.
So it's okay to do meetings in the t-shirt and have fun and have some fun with backgrounds and
Yeah.
have a pug or pretend that you're on a Star Destroyer from
I
Star
love
Wars.
this one.
Um, yeah. Or
Yeah.
every now and then I like to think back to the Hawaii vacation I had before this all broke out. Uh, try to make sure you leave time to have some fun in the day.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the timers for that reason because they would be good for health as well. To
Yeah,
actually give yourself time so that every 25 minutes you get up and stretch or move or something. Because I personally forget to do that. You
I
just
do too.
sit there and you don't move for hours and then you realize, goodness, it's not good. But thank you so much, Ilya, for your time. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure there was a lot of goodies in this, and I'm looking forward to actually reading and listening to this again because there was a lot of URLs mentioned and a lot of devices. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
It's been great, Maria. Thank you. Stay safe, and thanks for the opportunity. Always love talking about this stuff.
Excellent. Thanks, Ilya.
All right. Have a good one.